to impart ideas and opinions without interference of your correspondence. That's entrenched in your constitution. It doesn't mean you're supposed to go and attack people's character now. That's a whole different kettle of fish. But you can say something even about the constitution that you may feel very strongly about, and it doesn't have to be true at all. But that's how you feel. That doesn't make it right. Now, here's where I differ with any person calling my show and purporting as if it is constitutionally sound. Now, that's when I can get upset with you. I tell you that right off the top. Because many of you out there do not understand constitutional law. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't know it. In fact, it should have been taught from the very beginning, but it was neglected. And we've had successive administrations who have not done those major things as outlined in the preamble of the Constitution, a national commitment to do some specific things, a national commitment to unity, a national commitment to the rule of law, and other things that are mentioned in the Constitution to preserve what? To preserve our freedoms. Because Bahamians, if you aren't doing these things, you're not going to have preservation of your freedoms. Your freedoms are going to be carried away from you. You're going to lose it. When you look at the conditions in our country, we are gradually losing our constitutional freedoms. Even though they are entrenched in the Constitution, but we're not fighting. That's our problem. You know how many countries around the world would like to have a document like the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Bahamas and don't have it? They've had violent overthrows of government. You see what's happening in Sudan today. You see what's happening in Nigeria. Christians, I understand the latest report I got, a constant murderization or murdering of people who profess to be Christians in Nigeria. And the President of the United States is interested in trying to see what he can do to help those people in Nigeria. The International Federations of Christians and Jews, IFCJ, are also working on that. It's rather sad that people are being slaughtered because of what they believe in villages and in towns. And these people have so little. And they're being burnt, being destroyed, being shot, being rounded up. Look like the government over there has gone wild on those people. And the understanding is that I'm getting the President of the United States doesn't like that he's thinking about having a military invasion into Nigeria. The point is the nation's peoples themselves have to see these things coming. Now, when we look at the Bahamas, a lot of things are happening in this country, but we are still sitting back as if nothing is happening. If we are not careful Bahamians, we're not going to enjoy the peace and tranquility that we're enjoying today. You are seeing actions by individuals over and repeatedly, which are not in our best interests. The judiciary is very slow in bringing about justice in this country. You're going to find that when that happens, people are being let out on bail for 2, 3, and 4 murders. Give me a break. Where are you going with that? You're putting the accused personalities back out into the community. Where is the protection of the people of that community? The man goes to his house, standing on his porch or in his yard, and someone comes along in a car, or some people, and shoot the man to death right on his porch. Where is your protection? And when I ask that question, people are saying to me, Professor, you can't have a policeman to every single individual. I never said anything like that. I'm asking, where's his protection? The Royal Bahamas Police Force has a duty to protect the citizenry of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. The judiciary has the responsibility to provide justice for people who have been aggrieved by violators of the law. The government has a responsibility to deal with parents and their children who are running amok in these communities, committing all kinds of atrocious acts. And you're going to say, blame the parents. What are the parents doing to control their children? If you do not put things in place to discourage people from this kind of behavior, you're going to have problems. Now, of course, you know the political campaign is on in Golden Isles, and some interesting things are happening with those candidates. You have 4 of them. Which one is really qualified to represent the people of Golden Isles? And people are talking about their particular affiliation with a particular political party. What is that to do with representation? I've always asked the question, party representation, what is that? Parliamentary representation, what is that? Is there a difference? Yes, there's a big difference, very big difference. A parliamentary representative has to have the support of the government of the day to get things done in that particular constituency. That applies to all the constituencies, not just the Golden Isles itself. So what is the job of the representative? The Constitution talks about Parliament, and the House of Assembly is a part of Parliament, not all of it, but a part of it, where they pass laws for the peace, order, good government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. But these laws have to be enforced, right? So the representative of the particular constituency has to make sure that the laws are being enforced for the benefit of his constituents or her constituents. Because if that is not happening, then you got problems. You have all kinds of problems. And you always hear about people fixing roads. There's a flurry of activity, fixing roads, fixing potholes, weeding a couple of vacant lots, maybe putting up a couple of street lights in the particular constituency or community where a possible by-election is proposed to be held. And then there's this flurry of activity. You have candidates making statements about one another or to one another. And the political parties who put up these candidates, they'll have their say too. And that's all a part of the campaign strategy, as they call it. But I think what we need to do is look carefully at all the candidates. You only got 4 that you can choose from. And the question is, which one is qualified to be the next representative of Golden Isles? That is a situation that the people of Golden Isles has to decide. Now, let me say something else that perhaps a lot of you may have been overlooking. You can be a supporter of a political party. That means you go to the rallies, you perhaps wear their T-shirts, you probably do a lot of things when you have the rally, do a lot of talk, and you dance and carry on in a way that you feel is suitable to you, and you get something to eat, something to drink. But how many of them really listen to what the candidate is saying? How many of them really listen to what the leader of the particular party is saying? So people get lost. And these very same people have to pay their light bill, their water bill, their rent, their health bills. People are sick in this country, Bahamians. We got a lot of sick people around here. Even in the church. I keep asking myself, why is it that we got so many sick people? I've seen some die in the church that I belong to. You mean people in the church dying like that? That means we have to check ourselves and ask ourselves, well, what's wrong? Why are we dying? And people, when they reach in their 70s and 60s, well, starting at 60, they call them old. I don't know where they get that from. They see you're an old person, you're an old man. When I check scripture, I see something totally different. Totally different. And, we're supposed to be a nation under God. And I keep asking myself, do we seek God's advice in the things that we do? We have this campaign on now. What does God have to say about this campaign? Will the personalities involved in running for the seat, what is it today to express to the constituents of that particular constituency? Do the constituents know what is really happening in their constituency? Because I've been asking that question from July the 8th, 2024, and I cannot get a specific, clear-cut answer when I ask the question. It's been well over a year. This is the month of November. November the 4th, this is supposed to be election day in the United States for some places where they're having elections, and I understand some of them have referendums in those particular local areas where the people go to vote on certain things, and that's fine. That's all well and good. It's good to hear what the people have to say. And of course, Mr. Donald Trump is still in his first year as the President of the United States. And then 4 years from the last election, they'll have another presidential election. But in the meantime, they'll have midterm elections. And they'd always go for November. The first Tuesday in November is when they have elections. At least these people know the timing when an election is to be called. We don't have that in the Commonwealth of Bahamas, not as yet. Only one person would know exactly when an election would be held. The by-election, that's a given. You have a specific period of time, 60 days, from the death of that particular personality who would have died. The seat is vacant. You have 60 days to fill it, no matter how close you may be to a general election. Of course, the particular personality who would be in charge of the country may opt to do a general election like Sir Lyndon did in 1968. He had a one-seat majority in the House of Assembly. When Uriah McPhee died, you had the PLP with 18 and the UPP with 18. And you had Sir Randall, who was still the Labour man. So Sir Lyndon decided he would call a general election. And unfortunately, the leader of the opposition was calling for the Prime Minister to call a general election. Well, he was not prepared to do that. So he decided to call a by-election. That would have to come because the Constitution is very specific on that. Be that as it may, you have 4 candidates who are running in this election. I believe you got 3 men and 1 independent female candidate. And the question is now coming up as to what can a representative do to help the constituents in a given constituency. You know, they have constituency allowances, and that's small money. That ain't no real money. You got thousands and thousands of people. In that constituency, got over 8, well, is it near 8,000? Pretty close to 8,000 people who are on the proposed, who are on the register And the register has been closed now. No others could be added or should not be added. Let me put it that way. Because some funny things do happen in this country. And we don't keep track of these things. But the register ought to have been closed by this time. So no others should be added to the register. But who is checking on that? Who is checking to make sure that no other names are being added to the register? Do you know that? We are told that. But who is checking? Who is the watchdog, as it would be, to make sure that doesn't happen? We just hear someone say that. But is it being enforced, Bahamians? Do you know we have many laws that have been passed in the House of Assembly, but are the laws being enforced? What about those laws that are not constitutionally sound? What are we doing about that? You may have one or two persons who might say something in the press or something on the radio, and after a period of time, it dies. What happened to us, Bahamians? There's no sustained campaign to fight these issues, national issues, constituency issues. You may have even a talk show host that may speak to a particular problem in a particular constituency. While that has its place, what about the people who live there? Do you who live in Golden Isle, do you know how far the constituency goes? East, west, north, and south? Do you know? Do you know the boundaries of Golden Isles? I can tell you in those early days, when they had these constituencies cut up, I knew when I was moving from Grantstown into Port Castle, as it was called back then, and from Port Castle into St. Barnabas, from St. Barnabas into another constituency, and then we're going all the way into Fox Hill, going into Centerville. You know, the constituencies have changed over a period of time, so the boundaries were shifted. But do the people know the size of their constituency? Do they know the number of registered persons in their constituency? You have some people who may be living there who are not even on the register. They can't get on it now, but, well, let's put it this way, they ought not to be put on it now. Because when I look at our system, I keep asking myself, do we have in place the watchdog to check to see that these things are being done? Amos, this is serious, you know. We have a by-election, you're choosing a representative for that particular seat. Who is watching that things are being done in order? Is that being done by the constituents themselves, or are they so party crazed that they can't see anything beyond the color or colors that they're looking at? Is that the way it's going to be? We've had a lot of problems with that in the past. And you listen to comments from people, they are so politically polarized. They're either with this party or that party. I ain't calling no parties names. You know what they are. But the point is, the parties would put up a particular personality, and that particular personality will be on the ballot. And then people will go and vote for one of these individuals. And then you had, at one point in the past, one of the professors at the University of the Bahamas, it might have been the College of the Bahamas at that time, but nevertheless, told the people to spoil the ballot. Any crap like that? This is supposed to be a highly intelligent, educated person telling the people to spoil the ballot. What kind of crap is that? How would you go and tell that individual, spoil the ballot? That doesn't make any sense. Now I'm going to speak to that today because that is serious business. Do you know how many hundreds of millions of people around the world want to stand on a line and cast a ballot for a particular personality in that particular constituency where they may be living in that particular nation. And hundreds of millions of them don't have that opportunity. And you have it in here, in a peaceful nation. God spared us from the ravages of the last hurricane. How many of you understand? Melissa, she's a bad girl. You young men, they don't marry no bad girls now because they just mess you up. But Melissa came in here, and the damage, as we understand, was very mild. It may knock down a couple of trees and some lamp poles the wires of the lamp poles on the ground and some water. But look what it did to Jamaica. How long would it take for Jamaica to recover? They tell me years. We're still recovering from Hurricane Dorian. And we still don't know how many died in Hurricane Dorian. See what kind of records we just keep? We don't even know that. How many people live in Golden Isles? Do we know that? If something untoward were to happen in Golden Isles right now, maybe a tornado, run through that constituency, and we lose some people. Do we know how many were there? Would we be able to find them? We got some bush in there, people get lost in the bush, even though the island is 21 by 7. This is Professor Sidney McGarter, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. We got a lot to think about. And too many of you aren't even thinking about these issues that affect you every single day of your life. But you got your mouth open talking about you is this and you is that. Anyhow, I got to stop because the man tell me I need to shut up. This is Professor Sidney McGarter, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. My special guest is here. I'll bring him on when we come back from the break. This is Professor Sidney McGarter, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break. teeth to a lot of people because some people will tell you it's good to eat this particular thing, and you will say, no, that's not good for my system. But they insist that it is good. But you have to tell them, no, you don't want that. You're going to find the same thing with philosophies that people have. They're going to tell you things that are not true, things that are not in your best interest, and you have to tell them, no, you don't see it that way. I'll be prepared to do that when it comes to representation. Would the particular personality who has been elected stand up in the House of Assembly and tell the government of the day, the parliament of the day? See, there's a difference between the government and the parliament. See, that's another thing what you all don't get right. You have the government of the Commonwealth of Bahamas. The people say, well, the people is the government of the Bahamas. I hear that all the time. The Constitution says the cabinet has what? Overall direction, overall control of the government. That's in the Constitution. I don't know why people don't understand what the Constitution says. The cabinet, the prime minister and them other fellows who are approved by the governor general, of course, recommended by the prime minister. Say, I want these people in my cabinet. Then the governor general goes ahead and approves them, swear them in. The man say, that's what he wants. Constitution said the cabinet has overall direction. That's one. Overall control. Two, of the government. So what is the government there? So when you tell me nonsense about the people out there, it's the government. Yes, the people have a role to play. But I don't say it like that in the Constitution. And the parliament is not necessarily the government. That's another thing you people don't seem to understand. There's a difference between parliamentary representation, party representation, and the government. And because we don't get these distinctions, and it's all mixed up, and then you talk about your party and them kind of thing. It's get all mixed up and confused, Bahamians. Anyhow, let me stop. I got my special guest here. Brother Hilo, welcome to Global Radio Network 99.5 FM.
Good afternoon, Professor. Good afternoon, Bahamas. Professor, a lot is going on.
Too much is going on.
A lot of things are going on. And, you know, when you say we have to get serious about holding our government accountable,
Yes.
everybody that we put in the position of leadership and making sure they are doing what is in the best interest of the people.
So who's the watchdog now?
That's a good question.
Because we don't seem to have any.
Now, you look where you're going, Professor. Who's the watchdog? First of all, we need everybody to understand that when you put persons in authority, it is not best for you to wait 5 years to see what they have done.
That's correct. You could watch it every day.
You could watch it every day,
That's right.
every hour.
That's right.
The idea of a watchdog is an organization that watches over the affairs of the people. Just like a watchdog, if you get a Rottweiler, some people like pit bulls or whatnot, but
Yes.
it used to be German Shepherds, Doberman Pinschers. The point is, the same way you could have a dog watch your yard,
Yes.
it's the same way they have this term called watchdog organization.
Yes.
That's an organization that guard your property,
Right.
guard your things.
Okay.
And we need it. Professor, you don't think we need it?
Of course we need it. Now, let me ask you another question. What about the constituents? Where do they place in this? The constituents in a given constituency.
Professor, they themselves, whether they realize it or not, each person is able to be a watchdog by making a phone call, by checking on something, or by organizing themselves. I've heard you say it over and over and over again.
And over again. Yes, sir.
4 people, 5, 6, however the number.
Yes.
The older people used to say, me and God is a majority.
But that is true.
Me and God.
Yes.
God is it. If you're seeking out what is right, what is good, you have more power than you realize. but you
That is
have to
true.
take action.
You have to take action.
That's the key.
Yes.
You have to take action.
Yes.
On my way here, I was thinking about it, Professor. I was thinking about your work, and I was thinking about how you are saying to the people, wake up, understand that you have constitutional rights, and those that you've given power, they are bound to obey that constitution.
Exactly.
And it is in the best interest of the people.
Yes.
You have freedom of speech.
Oh yeah.
That's what you're operating on,
You better
under
believe it.
Article
And no
23
one,
1.
no one ain't gonna hinder that one. I can
No.
tell you that.
you
Hell
often
no.
you often refer to Article 24 1, the
Yes.
freedom of movement
Yes.
and association. You have
That
the
is
right to
correct.
organize yourself to protect your best interests.
That is correct. Yes.
That so when it comes to Article 24 of the Constitution and Article 23,
23. Yeah.
which is preserving your right to speak,
Yes.
then you have a right to speak up on matters that are affecting you,
Of course.
whether it be healthcare and the condition of the hospital. We do
Yeah.
have some good reports coming out of that area, so we got to make sure give the good reports too, as long as they follow through with what they say that they're going to do. But getting back to the watchdog principle, since you
Yes.
were there, Professor, we have an organization called, right here in the Bahamas, we may have heard it come across the news, the Organization for Responsible Governance.
Yes, I've heard about them. Yes.
Okay,
ORG.
ORG.
Yes.
That's a group of persons who, it's a non-governmental organization. They're not a
Yes.
part of government,
Yes.
but they are watching what government is doing.
Yes.
And they are either making suggestions or they are saying, hold on now, this seems like something that may hurt the people. You may want to think twice about that.
Yeah.
Civil society is also, whether they consider themselves a watchdog organization or not,
Okay.
that is the position that they hold.
Okay.
Civil society, or technically Civil Society Bahamas, is an
Civil society. Bound.
yes, is an organization. You have 10 committees involving anywhere from finances
Yes.
and healthcare
Yes.
and cooperatives. They have committees, but the thing is, they are able to hold the government accountable by requesting a meeting, and the government, basically in every case that I know of, the government will respond by saying, okay, so we will have a meeting with you. And one of your favorite, sorry to put it like that, Professor, one of your favorite organizations, the Office of the Attorney General,
Oh yeah.
they are able, their legal team, this is
Yes.
Civil Society Bahamas now,
Yes.
their legal team makes a request of the Attorney General's office and say,
Yes.
we would like to have a word with you.
Yes.
And the Attorney General's office would comply
Yes.
and say, what is it that you're concerned about?
Okay.
So they're able to present matters that they are watching the government do and say, oh, we are concerned about this. We want a little more information about this.
Yes.
And we need that to be happening,
Okay.
especially when we're having reports from the opposition.
Yes.
His Majesty's Royal
Loyal opposition.
Opposition,
Yes.
right, is saying that they don't have access to all of these agreements.
That's right.
They don't know what's going on with these agreements,
Yes.
whether it be BPL or Al-Lukaya. They don't have the details of the deal.
Yes.
A watchdog organization would hold the government's feet to the fire and say, this is wrong. That should not be. You should not have a major asset of the people that you're making a deal on it,
Yes.
and you don't tell them what's going on with the deal. Let me go one step further. Professor, you realize some of these deals, the people don't know what the pension arrangement is.
Okay.
Some of these, in the case of BPL, they have of course a nest egg to collect. Their pension is held with the corporation. So
Okay.
if you put the corporation, however you want to say it, they want to say they didn't sell it. The point is, if you make any arrangement and you don't tell the people what the arrangement is with their pension, how could that be right? The union say they're in the dark.
Yes,
So that's an
very
example of what I mean when I
Yeah.
say you need a watchdog organization.
good. Yes.
And in the Bahamas, from what I see going on, we need one bad. We
Very
need
much,
not one.
very
We
much
have
so.
one, but we
Yeah.
need more
You need more of that.
organization. Now, what is interesting, Professor? The government has its own internal. I need everyone under the sound of our voices to hear this. The government has its own internal watchdog mechanism,
Okay.
but it is not functional.
Okay.
Let me be specific. We in 2017, we established the Freedom of Information Act, so-called 2017.
Okay.
Professor, it is not operational.
From 2017.
From 2017 to now,
Wow.
it is not operational. We have a commissioner of information.
Yes.
Now ask him how much information he's collecting.
Okay.
You see my point? In other
Yes.
words, he's not getting the information.
Okay.
That's the Freedom of Information Commissioner.
Commissioner, okay.
We have a commissioner of information. Money getting paid out, office set up, money
Yes.
being paid for office,
Yes.
money getting spent.
Yes.
No results.
No results.
You're
Okay.
not able to go and ask the prime minister, could I see the details of the Al Lukaya hotel? It is wrong, Professor. It is wrong and out of order.
What about this Disclosure Act, which was passed decades ago?
See where you're going?
We
Now-
still ain't getting that clear either.
Well, we're not getting it clear, but some people, since you mentioned the Disclosure Act, that covers politicians and their holdings, the money that they have, but it also covers the contracts that are being sent out or requests for proposals.
Yes.
So just that the
And
public,
senior civil servants.
the
as well.
senior civil servants as well,
Yes.
all of this information is supposed to be available.
Right.
So the question is, why is this information being withheld, Professor?
Good question.
Why is it being withheld? Why is Mr. Kwesi Thompson of East End, why is he able to say, we are not understanding, we are not being told, as the opposition,
Yes.
we are not being given access? The actual leader of the opposition, Mr. Michael Pintard, he is the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee.
Yes.
He's the chairman.
Yes.
He has subpoena power
Yes.
to subpoena any permanent secretary, well, there are certain privileges that the members of parliament would claim in
Yes.
terms of you have to go to the Speaker of the House
Yes.
and lay your claim or your request. So parliament is a different matter. Parliament is handled differently, but there's still a provision whereby you can question and get answers.
Yes.
This is how the society is supposed to be functioning.
Okay.
So right now, what we have, Professor, and I was listening to you as I came in, Professor, we have persons trying to choose which color,
Yes.
but we need to rise above color
Yes.
and
we have-
Examine our condition.
Yes, a condition. Yeah, that's correct.
What is your condition? Which color is going to change your condition?
If it could.
If it could, if there is the will to even do so.
Yeah.
So when I say our condition, you can't have your police force work overtime throughout COVID, and you say that, well, the money isn't there now, but we'll pay you later.
I mean, people didn't get paid yet.
No, I don't know that for sure, Professor. But the last I heard, and anyone can call, or the Police Staff Association, they can call and correct us. Any police officer can. Anyway, it's a sensitive matter. But after COVID, the last administration left office and did not pay them. The new administration came in, and up to halfway through, up to 2.5 years later, 3 years later,
Mhm.
we've heard no record. So I'm just
Of
giving
them being
of
paid.
them being paid.
Okay,
So I'm just
very
giving that example, Professor.
Yeah, okay.
What does it matter? What color? Where the money? Talk
But
is
then-
cheap.
But then the people themselves who are affected,
Yes.
police officers, they haven't said anything about it. This Police Staff Association, as far as I know.
Well,
See, here's what I'm saying, Mr. Highland.
Mhm.
The point is, you have all these different problems affecting all these different people. But the very people who are being affected directly,
Mhm.
and of course some others indirectly,
Mhm.
are not really pushing as far as I can see. And
Mhm.
if anyone in the audience out there who's listening to me right now could tell me whether Professor is right or wrong, I do not see any hardcore pushing
Mhm.
to deal with these burdensome issues that affect these different classes of people.
I
I
hear
don't
you.
see. I don't see it. Now, if
I hear you.
someone is saying it's happening, well, then let me know.
No, what I hear by you saying that, Professor, I don't think it's fair that we would have leaders. Let's go to a different uniform branch. Professor, I had to sit down and watch on my television that the report that came, now this is old news now. This is not news. Even if it was a year ago or earlier this year, for me to hear that our customs and immigration officers, as mighty as the organization is, they came forward very respectfully. You couldn't be more respectful, very diplomatically. And they simply said the morale is low.
Mhm.
The morale is low. They examine the way they're being treated. Um, it leaves much to be desired. And they said specifically Grand Bahama. That was etched in the back of my mind. They said Grand Bahama in particular. They're getting calls from Grand Bahama. Immigration, customs, they have issues. So
Yeah.
they're not trying to be mean to nobody. They're not trying to interfere with politics. They're just trying to get uh, respect, dignity, and pay
But they have union representation, right?
a hard day's work, and then they want their pay. So
Okay.
so they do have representatives. In the case of the, see, I can't speak for them. The Police Staff Association, you don't hear from them much.
No.
That's their support for, and that's not about politics. They support their government. They support the people. Now, what are we doing for them? Are we supporting them? Are we making sure that their needs are met? They have bills. They have children that they want to get over to school.
Of course.
They may want to make investments.
Yeah.
Cost of living is going through the roof right now,
Of course it is.
and everybody's trying to manage the money that they have. So it is very devastating if you don't get your money in a timely manner.
Right.
Let's go to the teachers, the Union of Teachers. So, you know,
So the teachers union ain't get their money either.
I don't know if they got their money, but the can kept getting kicked down the road.
But then they need to tell us.
March,
See, what I'm saying is
September, November, December. The goalposts keep moving.
okay.
You can get it later. You can get it later. You can get it later.
But then, according to reports that I have available to me,
Mm.
and listen to what you're saying, they haven't gotten anything yet.
We haven't heard any report. We haven't heard any report. Before we go any further, I think the producer has the clip you had asked for, Professor.
Okay, Mr. Producer, go ahead with the clip, please.
And we will continue to be working. We will continue working hard.
Are you ready for this, considering you were only recently ratified tonight? Do you think you're ready?
Well, we are ready to go. The whole entire team will be on the ground. You've heard from the Prime Minister. Every member of Parliament will be on the ground in Golden Isles, and we will win.
You mentioned before that you've been on the ground in the community. What has the response been like? You've heard from many who said the former MP wasn't as present. So what has the response been like?
Well, listen, I'm a new day candidate. We are going forward positively, and that is what matters. People, the constituents of Golden Isles expect results, and that is what I'm going to deliver.
You didn't even answer the question. Do you know that's that? You see how he sidetracked that?
Professor?
See, this is why I keep saying you listen to what people say, man, and watch what they do. Go ahead, brother.
Professor, let me move on for that. I am very concerned that the public servants. See, Professor, you spoke of, for example, I don't want to speak this over to people. We got to be careful what we say. But in terms of low morale, I believe it has something to do with how people is being treated. It's that simple.
Well, it is.
So you have how they're being treated, and then
it affects them.
and then what about what you owe me?
It affects their work ethic.
Their
It affects their mindset.
Yeah.
It affects their children. It affects
Yes.
their personal lives.
Exactly. How are you supposed to have the morale and the spirit, a good spirit to get up on a Monday morning and go to work if people ain't looking out for you? The registrar's office just a few weeks ago, the registrar, they had a walkout or sit out. The public servants are not trying to make life difficult for the government. They're not trying, from what I could tell, it is my view, it's just my personal opinion. They're not going out of their way trying to make life difficult for the general public. But it comes a time when they have to take an action to demonstrate their discomfort
Yes.
and their discontent.
Yeah.
So if you have right now, Professor, this is one of the things, it really burdens me.
Yes.
When I mentioned the registrar's office, the sit out,
Okay.
they mentioned two things. They mentioned the working conditions. The working conditions. The building have mold in it.
Okay.
There's not enough of the mold remediation or dealing with that. So everyone knows that if you have a moldy environment, that'll get you sick.
Of course it would.
You breathing in would come, and
yeah,
then
but it's dangerous for you.
it's very dangerous. So a lot of people are in a situation where they need their job, they need to be paid. At the same time, the workspace that they're in is unsuitable.
Yeah. Okay.
It's unsuitable.
Mhm.
So I would say to the powers that be, address these matters of health concerns immediately.
Okay.
To the people, I would say yes, sit out, but don't wait until you're sick. Don't wait until it gets to that point.
Yes.
We as a country are and I keep repeating this. Sorry, Professor. You say, well, why apologize? Professor, we are taking in records amounts of money in this country.
Okay.
The government has record amount of income, revenue coming in. And it seems like the more money they make, they're trying to figure out the more they spend.
Okay.
They're trying to, we are breaking records in the money coming in, and they are breaking records on how much they are spending as fast as it come in. When the first concern should be, what problems could I solve for the people?
Yes.
That's why God is prospering us, for the people,
Yes.
not to develop more constituencies, more seats, more members of parliament, more, we have a ministry. I'm not picking on any particular minister. We have a Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Now we have a Department of Foreign Affairs.
Well, that is true. You're not picking on them, Mr. Hyde. That's what it is.
We need a member of parliament and we need a minister of state. We need 2 offices. We need 2 budgets now. What is the result? As a matter of fact, and this is not intentional. This is just on my mind, Professor. What are we hearing concerning the monies we are putting into foreign affairs? What is the people being told about foreign affairs related to the Bahamas? What are we hearing about Haiti? What are we hearing about Trinidad?
Yes.
What are we hearing about the military buildup in the region?
In the region, yes.
An
That's a serious matter.
estimated 10% of the U.S. Army and military resources are now in the Caribbean. That's why I made the statement on Friday past. The Caribbean is now a theater of war. The stage is set. I'm not fear mongering or war mongering. The equipment is in the Caribbean.
Okay.
Mr. Pete Hegseth, representing the U.S. government, President Donald Trump has ordered military assets into the Caribbean. So we already have the USS Gravely in the Caribbean, and he has ordered the USS Gerald Ford, an aircraft carrier, the mightiest one in the fleet, is coming to the Caribbean region.
Okay. Stop right there because I think I have a call on the line. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hi, I'm trying to make a contribution, but your end sound low and my end sound very high.
No, I'm hearing you clearly.
Okay. Good evening to you, gentlemen.
Good day, sir.
And Professor, listen. Until we flush out this administration, I say this administration, which is both PLP and FNM, all of these good ideas and these concerns and needs that the people have will not be met. You got to understand, we are dealing with a Gestapo This is not a management team. This is not a government. This is a Gestapo organization. Everything. Listen here. Do you guys know that more than half of the government contracts that you see given out are a dummy arrangement, because the contracts are given to these companies, which is owned by the permanent secretary and the ministers in the same department. Come on, we got to talk real talk and stop, going around. I'm trying to be politically right and sound correct and apologizing for a bunch of gangsters. We need to stop that, and if we don't stop that, this mess got to stop. We got to call Sin and leave it as that. This cesspool country we got now, led by Brave Davis, we just need to tsunami this whole regime away. Just tsunami all of them. And the opposition leader, I don't know. I don't understand that man. He could put a stop to this by doing something in his power to do, but he won't do it. So all he is air bargain. When the so-called FNMs can realize that he can make changes in this country, but he refused to. We gotta stop playing with people's emotions. It's nothing real going on. Nothing. Everything is just watered down and trying to be politically aware. Don't want master person, don't want master person. When the people will pay the people, they getting paid. They have hostess and thing all over the world. These people are stealing from the public treasury through means of contract. We all know that. And guess what we all are? Look who they're giving the contract to. They're giving it right back to themselves. Having somebody head the company for them. Listen, I can make you rich. Just run this company for me, and you can be rich. Keep your mouth shut. Blood in and blood out. We got to talk real talk and stop trying to be politically correct. That's all I have to say.
That's a serious thing.
Thank you for
So-
your contribution. Yeah, go
Professor,
ahead, Brother Harry.
Professor, what comes to my mind is evidence to what the caller just said.
Well, see, and that's what I wanted to say too. I heard him made a comment, and I don't think it was in good taste, and I apologize to my audience. He didn't cut that out. But we got to go to a break, and Brother Harley, we're going to take it up after the break. This is Professor Sidney McArthur, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break. lot of things are happening, moving very fast in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, but we still have a relatively peaceful country. Do not let it get like Nigeria. You people who go to worship on Saturday and Sunday, you may take that for granted, but you don't seem to understand that our mothers and fathers who lived before us went to great sacrifice to make sure that we have freedom of religion, freedom of expression, freedom to worship God in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, like many nations around the world do not have. It's not happening in Nigeria, and it's not happening in Sudan. Do not wait until it gets to the point where you got such a massive problem on your hand, it becomes extremely difficult to try to bring it under control. And this is why we have to watch these things that are happening. Now, so many things are happening and people have so many issues. It is going to take the people themselves who are being adversely affected on a particular matter, on a particular issue, or issues for that matter, to rise up, to be organized, Article 24.1 of your Constitution. For what? For the protection of your interests. Too many of you out there, you have not yet made any hardcore decision to protect your own interests. And the Constitution gives you the right to do that. You let things happen in your constituency that work against you, and you don't even open your mouth. You do not organize yourself to counteract it. You're not doing it. Those of you who have these agreements which are being violated, you sit right there and allow it to happen. You have others again who give a little note in the press. They write one little small note in the press and they leave it there for several months before they come back and comment on it over again. There is no sustained effort on the ground in these constituencies to deal with these issues. Now, it might mention on the talk show host might talk about it. You may have a few callers called in. But what happens after that? See, this is our problem. In the Family Islands, a lot of things we don't know what's happening in the Family Islands until something terrible happens. They got some flooding problems in Gat Island. The woman say her furniture floating in the house. You think Pinewood Garden got flooding problems. Cat Island got flooding problems too.
And Long Island as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is the people who live in these areas, you have the information right at your fingertips. You sit right there in the muck, you sit right there in the water with your furniture floating in your own house. And you just swallow the crap, man. Well, we get like this. See, those are the things what I'm concerned about. That the people themselves who are in these various situations are not even doing anything to help themselves. How do you expect the talk shows to deal with that? Now, there's some specific things we can deal with, you know. But we need your cooperation, and that's what we're getting that. We're not getting that sustained information, sustained effort to solve any major constituency problem, to solve any major national problem. That's not happening. It's just like hit and run. You hit, and then you run. Then you come back a couple of months later. That don't make any sense.
No. And
yeah, go ahead, but
Professor, what else don't make any sense is we are choosing to trust organizations that are secretive and don't want to give us information on our own business.
That is a problem.
Consistently,
yes.
We are choosing to trust organizations that once they get our vote, They don't want us to ask any questions. As a matter of fact, a certain minister just recently said sometimes it's just not worth answering questions.
I've heard that. Yes.
Now, what kind of attitude is that? Sometimes he said sometimes it's just not worth answering questions.
So the thing is that this is why I go right back to the beginning, man. And Golden Isles has an opportunity to deal with that because they're in this by-election. You have to know the quality of the people you're sending to the House of Assembly. That's point number one. But many people don't seem to understand the importance of that. Do you know whether that person is a child molester or a homosexual or a lesbian or doesn't believe in the principles of Scripture? These things are important. Then later on down, you come to realize you got one pig in the pie and you thought you had something more valuable than that. And all along, you're toting this bag with the pig in it. Or it might be a bag with snakes, some rattlesnakes, but they're very quiet. Then all of a sudden, they pounce around your neck and choke you to death. I don't understand why we keep behaving like this. We have to understand, Bahamians, the quality of the people you are sending to that House of Assembly. We have not done a good job on it. We just haven't. Do we know the character of these people? Do we know what they believe, Bahamians? We have a caller on the line. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, good afternoon, Professor.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good afternoon to guests and good afternoon, Bahamas.
Yeah, good
Professor,
day.
I listened to you all. I just was thinking, I know, Professor, we need to do, but really, we really need to save this country. We need to get, like I said before, like how the British do, have someone in the parliament where the speakers be. I want a desk right there just to watch the Constitution, just to keep an eye on the Constitution. That's the only way this country can slip on us. But Professor, guess what? I was thinking when I was talking about the fire hydrant. In our old days, we had a man. I mean, he had a little red car when I was a little baby, a little kid like, teenage like.
Yeah.
He used to go around and just check the fire hydrant.
Yeah,
and this just slipped to my mind. I know he used to check where the fire hydrant, make sure he ain't flooding and things like that.
That's true, yeah.
Please get people come in power and wipe away our history, man. I know a lot of people in Bahamas don't know about that. He had one little red car and he used to check the fire hydrant and make sure places them don't flood it. And first I know what I got for a new thing what I learned but flood it. All you got to do, I keep it on TV, so I can say fair use, education use only. First, they doing flood it. They dig a hole like a well, right? And they put like a green carpet right over it. So that one do, and they put like little rocks on it. And so when the water go down and that, all that stay down there. And then when the sun come back out, you get your pipe and just drain that off. And guess what? That looks so good. I mean, I don't know what these people is be doing. Just dig a deep well, right? And you put a screen over it, a nice screen, and you put like this thick grass over it, and you put like rocks, the big rocks over it, not them old rocks, the shiny rocks, and all that water just go down in there, and you'll be looking so good, and all that the green and gone right there. And when the sun come out like now, you take your thing up and you just drain that right up, and boom, Bob is your good. That's how I go on. Y'all have a blessed day, yeah?
Thank you very much. Thank you for
Good
your
day.
contribution. Yeah, but
When he spoke of the man that drove around and checked the fire hydrant,
yes, but we don't see that today.
we don't see that today. And,
Yeah, but he's
and
correct when he said that.
yeah, I
We got
remember that.
one. I got one right just a few feet away from where I live.
Well, Professor, we need
Fire
that
hydrant.
to continue because we've had reports of no access to water,
That is correct.
on certain fires that
Yes.
came.
Yeah, that has been a
And
problem earlier
we-
this year.
There are 2 fires that resulted in hoses being placed in the ocean.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm just saying where the fire hydrants.
Yeah,
But we had 2 fires.
yeah,
2. One was near here where we are now,
that is correct.
and the hose went into the harbor,
Ocean, yeah,
into the ocean. And there's another fire more on the western side of the island.
that's
They
correct.
did the same thing.
Yeah.
You saw them take the hose into the water, into the ocean, and draw water.
I think they did
from
from
there.
the pond. The ocean ain't that close, but it was the pond.
Boy.
The
So
one that happened off the East West Highway, they
yeah,
used to pawn.
so but we need different checks and balances.
No, but I agree with you.
We
But
need-
I
we need
agree
the
with the
checks and the
caller
balances.
because the fire hydrant is just a few feet away from where I live.
Yeah.
That's one that's the most visible one in the area where I am. I don't see any others.
Mhm.
But at least I didn't notice. Maybe I
Yeah.
need to take a more active notice of what's
So-
there. But that one has been there
Yeah.
from the time I came into this
Mhm.
world.
So
That one was there.
I'm seeing a trend, Professor,
Yes.
where we're getting reports from the healthcare community.
Yes.
We were receiving reports of lack of maintenance
Yes.
on certain equipment. Now that's just alleged, but that was alleged by somebody who regularly sit inside the facility and watch the equipment and was stating that a number of them had failed.
Yes.
So
that's
that
what
that
particular person
that
said.
particular person said
Yeah.
they were in a situation where quite a bit of the equipment had failed.
But the particular person was also a patient there.
A patient, a
Yeah,
regular
that's right,
patient.
regular patient, yes.
And they were saying it came to the point of while they are receiving treatment,
Yes.
the repair persons had to come in
Yes.
to keep the equipment going.
That's what the person
Okay.
said, reported to us. That's correct.
That's healthcare.
That's health.
That's over in healthcare.
Right.
Miss Sherry Benjamin of the BCPOU, she reported that the equipment at BTC, it's the worst in over 30 years.
Okay.
Now
she
she's
did.
the union boss.
Yes.
She reported that the People's Corporation, BTC, is not receiving proper maintenance.
Yes, she said that.
She offered saying that even some of the rooms that the equipment is kept in
Yes.
is not properly air conditioned.
Air conditioned. She said
So
that, yes.
the equipment is not properly air
Properly
conditioned.
functioning.
And the other gentleman stated that the people are not properly air conditioned. In some of the
Okay.
workspaces,
Yes.
they have to be bringing fan to work.
Yes. Okay.
Now, we understand that sometimes things are going to break down and you may have to bring a fan to day one. One day,
Right.
that's an emergency situation.
Right.
But we don't expect that to be an ongoing situation
I
for
agree.
months and months. Not how much we pay for phone calls,
Very expensive.
not the amount of money, not these money what they say they make in each quarter,
Each
20,
quarter,
30
yes.
million dollars a quarter. This is a lot of money,
money, yeah.
moving around, Professor.
Yes.
But the quality of life of the Bahamian people,
Now, that is what I think the Bahamian people need to
the
concentrate on.
dignity,
of
the
life.
quality of life,
Yes.
and the dignity.
Yes.
How do you feel going to work?
Yes.
Do you feel good? Are you happy? Are you encouraged to work? And
Yes.
this is where I think we are failing our people. The
Yes, sir.
working conditions, the reports coming from all quarters. And with BTC, let me just say, when they say it's unacceptable, these are the words they were using.
Uh-huh.
They said they want the people gone. The partnership.
No, but they said
That's
that
what they
directly.
said.
They said that
They
directly.
said the way, in other words, they believe the Bahamian management is better than the partnership management,
Exactly.
based on what they are saying. Now we
Yeah.
haven't heard any follow up on that yet,
No, we haven't.
but we experiencing the drop calls, eh?
Yeah, we are.
We experiencing the echoes,
Yeah, plenty echoes.
the
All kind of
echoes, and the service.
I just got that today when I was on the phone.
The service is at a low level,
Very low, yes.
but the money is being paid.
Yes.
It's a lot of money going into the operation.
And how
So
long it has been now since one of my lines has been off? Almost 3 weeks now.
boy,
And they were supposed to come and fix that.
that's
for me.
frustrating.
It is
Professor,
frustrating, yes.
Professor, the Ministry of Education reported that the elevators, there's some type of failure and smoke was coming from the elevators.
Wow.
Thank God, no fire. So they say where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yes.
That sounds like an incident that could easily have resulted in some type of fire.
Of course.
Smoke was going through the Ministry of Education building. And yesterday, they had to tell, I believe it was yesterday, they had to tell folks, do not report to work.
Okay.
It was not, and today they are doing work, I believe, at the Ministry of Education.
Okay.
I'm only putting the question, I'm not accusing anybody of anything. Was the elevators properly maintained? Is all of the equipment being maintained properly? That's all I'm putting on the table.
Mhm.
Or was it a situation? Because anything can happen. Once you're
Yeah,
talking
but
about,
things can happen.
yeah,
Yeah.
anything man-made can
Oh,
fail.
it can fail.
Now,
It
if
can be
God
done.
do it, because even the human body can fail, but if we don't eat properly or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
But other than that,
Uh-huh.
only what God do ain't gonna fail.
That is
But
correct.
once man touch it, it's a problem.
You would have a
Mhm.
problem. You certainly would
Yes.
have a problem. Yes.
Yes, we
So,
have. I think we have a call. Yeah.
I was trying to see if the producer
Mhm.
was giving me that signal. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good afternoon, Professor. Good
Hey, how are
afternoon,
you?
Mr. Hyler.
Hey,
Yes,
good
sir.
afternoon.
Yeah, Mr. Hyler, I
Yes.
want to come to you first. Did you ever find out what happened to our Bahamian flag in the House and in Parliament Square?
You know what? The one thing we did inquire.
Quite
What?
sure you did.
Yeah. What they're saying is that this. I didn't realize it until now. The Speaker of the House has authority over where. So it's not even in the hands of the police. The Speaker of the House has authority over that flag, whether it's raised, whether it's not, whether it's flown half mast. So if it is not flown, that is under their instruction. Now, the second thing we learned is they're saying they raise the flag when Parliament in session and they take it down when they're not in session. So that's
Make it make sense.
now.
'Cause I ain't making no sense.
I think you and I thinking the same thing. Because when they're not there, we still here.
Yes, we are.
Exactly.
So
Even when we still here, they still in there.
see that? So
Anyway, go ahead. That's
is
something
the
else.
flag only for their intents and purposes, or is the flag waving for the public? Or when the travelers, the tourists travel, that means when the flag is down, the tourists don't know what our flag look like.
No, they don't. They wouldn't see.
Well, that just brings me to my point, Mr. Hyler and Professor. They don't care about us, my brother.
Okay.
It's all about them.
But a flag need to be flying as far as I'm concerned.
No, they.
Listen, we don't want accord with that.
Yeah.
But obviously, they are not on that same accord.
Okay.
It's quite obvious. And it's quite obvious what they think of us as the Bahamian people.
Okay.
Quite obvious.
Yeah.
But like I said, from last year, they're going to self-destruct, and they're still doing it. When you start messing with the pensioners' money, NIB money, and you got to be late with that, and you come talking about you want vote, you get a vote, all right. Just ain't get the vote that you're looking for. That's all.
Yeah. That's the serious thing.
That's all. But anyway,
Yeah. Understood,
I
caller.
could just be calm. I ain't get irate. Because they self-destruct and I ain't got to say nothing else. Tell them just keep on doing what they're doing. They're doing a
Right.
fine job
Mm-hmm.
of what they're doing. A very fine
Right.
job. They in quicksand and they wiggling and
Mhm.
wiggling and
Wow.
wiggling.
Wow.
And they
Cool.
shall sink.
Caller, what I was about to mention next, but let me mention this while you're on the line and then let you go.
Okay.
I was highly embarrassed
Mhm.
to understand that other nations in this hurricane belt, as simple as insurance, all this money we making, Jamaica have their catastrophe bond, they have their insurance in place,
Mhm.
and they getting the money in the hundreds of millions or whatever the case is. And I think they're anticipating the first seed money from that. But the point is, that was a part of their recovery plan in advance. And here it is in the Bahamas. We received a report concerning the passage of those major hurricanes that we did not have insurance in place. Our policy expired, and there was no money. Now in Grand Bahama, the people are now being made. Fees are now being put on top of fees, and the people are being made to pay. As simple as that. So when when we talk about mismanagement or misappropriation, however you want to put it, we just have to ask the question, is the Bahamas being well managed? Look how much evidence we have piling up around us. This is massive mismanagement all around. I just wanted to put that forward. And, our hearts goes out to Jamaica. It's a terrible experience to have to go through. Now, we have 2 islands at least that experienced the same thing and had virtually no help. It was only the help of the international, I shouldn't say only, let me be careful how I say that. The majority of the help that came in the wake of Dorian in particular, it was non-governmental organizations, foreigners that came in, whether it's a hospital. Now another hospital is being deployed to Jamaica, actually. A 30-bed hospital is being deployed by, I think, Doctors Beyond Borders.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that this is so much money, and we are paying the highest amount of taxes and money, and we are not getting back what we're paying for. We have like the worst experience right now. So it is frustrating, and that's beyond colors or whatever color or part. We need to demand more before we could receive more. I'll leave it there. But I just wanted to put that out there. In terms of you saying they don't care about us, man, I wonder if we have insurance now, caller. That's all I could say. I wonder if we have insurance now.
I can say now that you brought that, the medical aspect of it. When last you had to pay for dialysis? That's another thing.
Boy.
People ain't getting no money now, and the little that they do have, now you can charge me money just to get dialysis? Really?
Yeah, a lot of them are not going to afford that.
Yeah, we in the crisis.
Some of them have to go there 3 times a week.
Yeah, we in the crisis in that area.
Very much.
Concerning, again, my mind goes to West End. We have a crisis all over the Bahamas, and somehow there's a spike in West Grand Bahama where they're saying up to 20%, up to 1 out of 5 residents are estimated to be on dialysis right now. And I can't recall it. Man, Professor, I have to, let me fact check that first.
Yeah,
let me just,
please do.
because I think either that was a projection or that was a present experience. But let me go and find out more about that, and I'll report back on that. But Grand Bahama right now. Before we go to break, Professor, now that I mentioned Grand Bahama,
thank you for your contribution.
Thank you, caller.
Go ahead.
We have, I got an update out of Grand Bahama, Professor. We had interviewed a certain resident of East Grand Bahama that reported that there's an experience where she is being put out of a home, but she is saying that she has evidence that the records, everything has been paid. Husband passed away, life insurance in place. But now a call came in today. We coming back with the police, and we coming with a locksmith. That's today, to put you out of your home. So what happened to the insurance? What are you paying life insurance for? What are you paying these mortgage payments for? And she's saying 2 things that are very shocking about this. She's not getting, what's the proper balance? She's alleging that she's not being told what is the balance that is owed. What is the amount? That's number 1. Number 2, 8 months trying to get a stay from the local courts to hear the matter. Why would it take 8 months, Professor?
Interesting.
In an emergency situation, why would it take 8 months? Court, I need you to look at my documents. I need you to look at my case. I need you to hear my matter. 8 months later, you can't get before court in 8 months in an emergency situation?
Yeah, this is the problem with our judiciary in the country. It is really falling down, and even more serious matters in relation to this one, we're having the same problem.
Yeah.
Just delay after delay after delay. And people get frustrated. So what they're going to end up doing, and they end up doing some things that would not be what ought to be done, because you're depending on the system to adhere to your situation. This is Professor Sidney McCarter, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. We'll be back after the break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after this.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island's November to Remember sale is here. Starting at $120 per night, plus taxes and fees for single or double occupancy. Limited inventory is available and blackout dates apply. Advanced booking is required, and Comfort Suites is offering free food and beverage credit up to $50 based on length of stay and redeemable at the Crusoe's Restaurant and Splash Pool Bar. All guests of Comfort Suites receive complimentary use of Atlantis, including Aqua Venture Water Park, daily complimentary full American buffet breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and free parking. Kids 11 and under stay free in a room with parent and eat free at Crusoe's Restaurant with each paying adult. Call 605-6300, 363-3680 or WhatsApp 55-SUITE. Offer valid through November 30th. Comfort Suites, Paradise Island, offering comforting days and sweet nights.
Insurance is too expensive. I'm young and I don't need it. All insurances are the same. Let's bust these 3 common insurance myths. First, no, insurance doesn't have to break the bank. We offer plans that fit your budget. Second, accidents don't care how old you are. An accident can happen to anyone. Third, all policies are not equal. The wrong one can leave you high and dry when you need help the most. At Harvest Insurance, we give you real info, real options, and real peace of mind. Call us at 326-808-405 or visit us at harvestinsurancebrokers.com and get the facts before you make a decision.
Hey, Shoe Depot has what you and your wallet need. They are stuffed with stylish and exciting footwear, handbags, wallets, and accessories for all occasions. Shoes for the professional, casual, cute and glitzy, skid resistant, and ultra comfortable for those long work days. Shoe Depot has got you. Oh, and be sure to join our Shoe Depot Rewards Club for extra savings and earn points for special benefits. Visit either of our 2 locations, Golden Gate Plaza or the Palmdale Plaza. At Shoe Depot, you'll find the best selection of the best styles and at the best prices.
From East Street to Blue Hill Road, it's your chance to join the discussion of today's issue. Let your voice be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney McCarter, Walter Thompson. The lines are open 326-0272, 813-0271. My special guest is Dwayne Hyler. He is with us today on Bahamians. We are discussing issues of national importance that affect the Bahamian people. Of course, you know, this is an election season now, a by-election season, and people are very much interested in what the outcome will be. That's fine. That's all well and good. But you have 4 persons to choose from, three men and I think 1 woman. And the question is, which one of those will be best suited to represent the people in Golden Isles? I don't think enough is being done to analyze all of those 4 persons. And I think the constituents in a given constituency ought to be objective in their thinking. Who is best able to assist them? Now, let me say this when it comes to parliamentary representation. The parliamentarian himself or herself cannot operate independently of the government of the Bahamas. Let me repeat that. Because some people seem to think that the parliamentary representative can do that. The system is not designed for that, Bahamians. We may even have to make some changes to our constitution because there always seems to be a problem with persons who sit in the cabinet and at the same time they are members of the House of Assembly or even the Senate, meaning they're members of Parliament. We may have to look at that a little bit more closely because what we have seen over these many decades is a constant problem where people get all mixed up with their duties as ministers and also their duties as representatives. That is a real problem in this country. And what you end up finding, the constituents suffer. I know it happened in my area where I live. The constituents suffer for a lack of parliamentary representation, while the particular personality in the cabinet doing things so busy that you forget the constituents in that particular constituency. This is a real problem that we have in our country. And so we may have to look at, right now in the Constitution, that's how it's set up. You have to have a referendum to change it. But another problem that has developed is the fact that the constituents over the last 52 years have given such massive landslide of seats to a given party. That party has the overwhelming majority of the seats in the House of Assembly over that 52-year span. The point is, even though they have all this power, all this authority, you have seen a proliferation of problems in all of these constituencies. And I've been asking the question about major constituency problems having been solved. And since I asked that from July 8 of last year, I haven't gotten one single person to say, Professor, I live in this particular constituency. These are the major constituency problems that have been solved, and here are the clear-cut benefits that we're enjoying today. Those who attempted the answer has said to me, nothing has happened. Bamis, don't tell me for 52 years in a given constituency, nothing has happened. That doesn't make any sense. Are you telling me we spent, and call it just stay on the line, we have spent billions of dollars over that 52-year span, billions. And you're going to tell me nothing has happened? Damien, something's wrong with that picture. Call you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hello. I need a understanding on something.
Yes, sir.
Two things, but this is the first one. When the teachers go on strike, are the foreign teachers allowed to go on strike too?
That's a good question that you asked. I'm not specifically sure.
When the teachers go on strike, are the foreign teachers allowed to go on strike too?
Well, I think those who are part of the union.
I'm not specifically sure.
Mr. Producer, I'm here. He's like fading away. I want to hear him clearly. Caller, you're fading away.
All right.
Okay, that's better.
All right.
Now, you say, are the foreign teachers allowed to go on strike with the teachers?
With the Bahamian teacher.
Mr. Hiley, you know anything about that?
Well, I'm not certain, but it would have to fall underneath the union representation, and there's a strike certificate that has to be issued.
To the union.
The Minister of Labor. This is very interesting because, see, the Minister of Labor has to issue the authorization for every person that is involved with the strike. Now, they're only responsible for union members.
That's true.
So
Right.
if it would depend on whether the teacher, who may have been a foreigner, but the way our country is being managed, it seems like it's just as easy to get a passport as a work permit in the Bahamas right now. So my reason for putting it that way is because if the teacher comes in as a passport but does not come on their nation's passport, but does not become a Bahamian citizen, then they're not protected under our constitution, number one. And number two, they're not protected under our labor rights. Now, if they join the union, that's different. Now, whether or not, so now is a different question. Is a foreign teacher allowed to join a local union?
Okay.
And that's where that would come in. Now,
He asked an interesting question.
I did see some persons, I don't want to prejudge now, but I did see some persons that seemed to be of like an Indian ethnicity.
Okay.
Because, we have a significant amount of Indian, we have Cuban teachers, some African, but we have a significant, especially in mathematics, because India has a reputation of being extremely strong in mathematics. So we have a lot of Indian teachers here. So I don't know if they would be allowed to join a union, but certainly they should have protection of their pay and their rights, their treatment. So we will investigate that further.
If you'd like to make a call,
He's gone
get
now.
disconnected.
Okay, yeah. No, but
yeah.
he asked an interesting question. I don't have the answer on that.
Yeah.
But I would think that, well, then this is another thing again. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. And of course, you have certain things, statute laws, or even agreements that may not necessarily conflict with the Constitution. But he asked a very interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not sure specifically to that regard. But I would have thought, understanding what I know about the labor laws, that those who are part of that union, the union has a right to fight for those persons.
Right.
And,
Now, when you say fight for those persons, Professor, when you said that, the picture came back to my mind, right? Miss Belinda Wilson, she's a very fiery personality.
Yes.
And different people feel different ways about her and her leadership.
Yes.
Now, she is gaining more, more confidence from additional unions, because she's not only the leader of the BUT, but she's also the president of the Bahamas National Alliance Trade Union. Congress as well.
Yeah.
So that's an umbrella
of
unions.
Yes.
So
correct.
I would say the reason why I'm bringing this up like this, Professor, is because then I saw Miss Belinda Wilson step over the barricades.
Yes, sir.
I said, wow. I said, we may be onto something.
Yes.
Because we have been barricaded in
Okay.
to various situations.
Yes.
We've been barricaded in. And if we don't step beyond the barricades, it seems like we're going to continue to experience hardship at the hands of those that we've given the authority. So two things. One other thing quickly, Professor. Other than Miss Belinda Wilson, I look at the JCNP, the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence.
Yes.
Professor, the last couple of days has been very interesting. The Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence is saying that they're going to have different parades.
Yes, I heard that on the radio today.
They are establishing different parades that's not going to interfere with the traditional Boxing Day and New Year's parades.
Yes.
But what I'm saying, Professor, is you have the new government-led committee. This is just my view, Professor. They seem to be wanting to take over Junkanoo and appoint a few people to committees.
Okay. That's the NJC, you mean?
The NJC.
Yes.
The National Junkanoo Committee.
Yes.
And they, Professor, they came very strong. They came very strong. The government is taking over Junkanoo.
Yes.
What about what the people are saying?
That's a good question.
What about the leaders of Junkanoo?
Yes.
So I'm seeing a lack of consultation. And
well, my understanding, I was talking to a couple of gentlemen because I was coming down the stairway, the Queen's staircase. And when I got to the bottom, we were talking about the incident. And I said, well, I'm getting mixed messages on that. It has been said that all the major Junkanoo groups are going to be participating in the two regular parades, Boxing Day and New Year's Day. And then we also understand the New Providence Junkanoo Commission or organization, the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence, JCNP, let me make sure I get it right, that they're going to have 2 parades, but at different times. And according to them, with their statement, it would not conflict with what the government is doing under the NJC.
Right.
Now, I don't know why we all mixed up how Junkanoo has gotten so out of whack from what it used to be in the past, because it seems to me as if it stems from, let's go right back to the beginning, it stems from an internal problem with the Valley Boys. One family broke off from the Saxons. There was no conflict with that. They went and they formed their own group. They are contender now, big contender in the parades. The Saxons are also a big contender in the parades. So you got 2 strong groups, right? But now, all of Junkanoo, even in the Family Islands, how in the world could we allow an internal problem by one group? They can't seem to get their act together. Affect all of Junkanoo throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand it. How could an internal problem that one particular Junkanoo group has affect all that has to do with Junkanoo?
Right.
Now, I don't know where they're going to get all these sponsors from to have 4
The 2
parades.
Can I read?
I just don't see it. Yeah, but go ahead.
Can I read that statement, Professor?
Yeah, okay.
This Friday, October the 31st. This is from the JCNP.
Okay.
And it says the JCNP member groups move on, quote unquote, move on from annual government Junkanoo parades, launching a new organic Junkanoo experience. And it says the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence announces today its decision to move forward from its traditional role as managers of the annual Boxing Day and New Year's Day Junkanoo parades, following the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture's recent decision to remove the JCNP midway through the 2025 Junkanoo season.
Okay.
So, well, let me finish this. It says a move that disrupted months of planning and sponsorship development. So let me repeat that part. They're saying that the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture has a decision to remove the JCNP. So according to them, it's not something that they initiated. They're saying they were removed.
Oh, yeah, I got that.
See what's happening?
You said that.
They were removed
Yeah.
from the national parades.
Not
So they
really.
saying, well, if you remove us, we'll just remove ourselves, go to another location. And obviously they would have spoken to the rest of the groups. Let me finish reading. Let me not put no word in their mouth. Let me
Okay.
finish, because this is very important.
No, it is important.
You know, while this decision closes a significant chapter in the long-standing partnership between the JCNP and the government of the Bahamas, we do so with gratitude for the years of collaboration and deep respect for our cultural heritage. We extend our best wishes to both the government and the National Junkanoo Committee as they continue their stewardship of the national parades. However, as proud Bahamians and cultural custodians, the JCNP and its member groups will exercise our constitutional right to peacefully assemble and to celebrate Junkanoo in its purest, most organic form. In that spirit, the JCNP will host 2 independent, community-driven Junkanoo experiences on Bay Street this December and January at times and dates that will not conflict or compete with the government's events.
Now, they said specifically on Bay Street, they're going to have these 2 in
Yes.
December and also in January.
Right.
Which means that you will have 4 parades then.
That's what it sounds
If
like.
That's the understanding I'm getting.
Yes. and listen to this part here, Professor. These new JCNP Junkanoo experiences will be a true celebration of the people, and for the people. They come at a time when Bahamians have spoken loudly and clearly. In a recent Nassau Guardian public opinion poll, 75% of the respondents supported the JCNP's continued role in managing the parades. You hear that?
Yes, I get that.
75% of the
75%,
people
yes.
want the JCNP to remain managing the overall parades.
Yeah.
Now, with information like this, the question is, what does the government now do?
Okay.
If you ask the people, if you ask the JCNP leaders, if you ask the Junkanoo groups, if everybody is in agreement with everything remaining the same, why eject, if I could use that word? Why remove the JCNP, who's been doing it all these years? Here are the groups. Let me name the groups and then allow you to continue, Professor.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Saxon Superstars will be involved with the JCNP's move or their parade. The Saxon Superstars, the Roots, One Family, the original Valley Boys, established 1958. Don't ask me which one that is. I know. The original Valley Boys, the original Congos, the Redland Soldiers, the Mighty Eagles, and 12 groups of D Division individual participants. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That's 19 groups.
Okay.
Will be a part of this.
That's very interesting. But another thing is, you say you're having this in December and January.
Yes, but not on the same dates.
But then what kind of impact would that have on the people who are performing in these parades? You know, that's going to be a lot of strain. Because right now, when they come off from the 26th, are you going to have another parade before the 1st of January? You know that the time is very close.
Yeah. It is close, and we'll have to
So
wait.
would the participants, if this is what it's going to be, because my understanding is that both the major groups and all the other groups, the B groups and everybody, are apparently registered with both organizations.
Right.
Now, I just don't understand the logic of it.
I don't understand the logic of removing your managers, your parade managers.
Yes. What is the reason?
What is the reason?
Yeah.
What is the reason for it?
That's another thing again. You just abruptly cut them off. And I was under the impression that, they were supposed to continue and there was this Congress, thing in it. But it appears to me, if anyone else out there correct me on this, why we got to get to some of these Junkanoo leaders to see if we could get them to explain clearly to the public what's really going on. Because right now everything is all mixed up. It appears to me as if it stems from an internal problem
within the Valley Boys. Professor, I understand what you're saying. While we're waiting for clarity, I only raised it because I see a consistent. How all the folks say it? Hard head boy don't make good soup.
No, it doesn't.
I see a stubbornness.
But you do see that.
I see a stubbornness and a lack of consultation. You're not working with the people.
Lack of consultation is a real problem in this country. Same thing what happened in Fort Wingastle, lack of consultation.
Lack of consultation.
With the issue relating to the 3 major tourist attractions in our doorstep.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
There's been no consultation with the people of Fort Wingastle in relation to that. So I see that stubbornness attitude.
It's a pattern. It's a pattern.
And then we have a noise pollution problem in Fort Wingastle, which we never had before.
Okay.
And it can cause a lot of damage to your ears. Okay? And so this is something we have to deal with. We have to get that fixed.
Definitely. The new hospital, Professor, barging ahead.
Now, this new hospital, what kind of hospital that's supposed to be?
Well,
That's a hospital for pregnant people?
well, not specifically, but they're saying it is a specialty hospital.
Specialty to do what?
Well, I don't have all the details on that.
Well,
Yeah.
we've been having this cat and mouse game being played
Mhm.
all the time,
Mhm.
right? We got Princess Margaret Hospital of here,
Right,
right outside my door.
right,
And they have a multitude of problems with that place.
right.
Now you're talking about building a new hospital.
Mhm.
Is this going to be a hospital catering to people of all different situations, or this is going to be a hospital for pregnant people who having children? Because I've been hearing all kind of funny things, man. And there never seemed to be any clarity. And the kind of money that's being spent, that's some big money they're spending.
Mhm.
And it is supposed to be put in a flood-prone area. That's another problem.
Well, Professor, what's the use of having a town hall meeting?
And then you decide you're still going to put it
You
there
can
and
do
they
what you
it.
want to do in the
Yeah,
first place.
It doesn't make any sense.
What did you really come for?
It doesn't make any sense.
Isn't a town hall meeting supposed to be about building consensus,
Building
getting
consensus,
the consensus of the
yes,
people?
yes.
If you have something you want to do, you build your case for it, you present it. There's supposed to be an environmental impact assessment. I believe the original one was done. I believe a second report is forthcoming, and here it is. A decision is being made, and they have an association of homeowners in that area.
In that area, yes.
They don't want it. The consensus is that they don't want it there, and
That's the consensus.
they gave the reason.
They gave the reasons. And then all of course you see with the tropical storm we had,
Right,
that whole area got flooded up.
right. We saw the flooding.
Right where the hospital is supposed to be put.
Exactly.
So what are you putting it there for? Ain't no flooding up here where Princess Margaret Hospital is.
No.
So why you want to put it in a flood-prone area?
So it goes on and on, Professor. It goes on from administration to administration.
That's the problem we have in our
Yeah.
country. We do not have
Yeah.
the people.
Yeah.
Putting the kind of pressure on the government of the Bahamas. You can't wait for no 5 years, because some of them ain't gonna be around in 5 years. They either didn't have no police protection,
Mhm.
or the fella going home, somebody following him in his car,
Right.
he's standing on his porch, somebody shot at him,
Right.
or at his wife or his children, then people sleeping in their bed, all of a sudden they find a man on top of them. I mean, what kind of crap is this?
Amazing.
All kind of funny things happening.
And with all
in the
these
country.
things happening, we're not hearing solutions. All
There are
we
no
hear-
solution.
all we're hearing is we need this seat.
Yes. Oh, we didn't get to play that tape. That's the
Professor,
first time you let that happen.
Professor, you got to play that tomorrow.
I told my professor I supposed to have
Professor,
that tape. He
Professor,
didn't even tell me he had the tape ready.
Professor, every member of parliament will be in Golden Isles. That's what we are told.
Yeah, we told that.
All hands
candidate said
on
that.
deck. They said they need this
The
seat. And all of them are going to be there.
Yes, that's what
They say they're going to win that seat.
that's what they're saying. Yeah.
Wow. God help them. Or, before we go, Professor,
Yeah.
I was listening to a late night talk show concerning the last by-election we had.
Uh-huh.
The young man was from that constituency. He looked right at the TV and said, "Excuse me, Golden Isles, I'm talking to you." He said, "We have one bunch of promises that was made to us, and we ain't seen nothing yet.
Nothing yet.
None of the promises are being delivered. So you all be careful out there." That's what was said.
yes.
Just I think either last night or night before.
Okay, but
Yeah.
we got to get rid of all that kind of thing. This is where the people need to start thinking seriously. This is Professor Sidney McArdle, Walter Thompson. I'll be here again tomorrow on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. Please pray for the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Bahamians, but we got to take some action on the ground where we are in terms of dealing with constituency issues and in terms of dealing with national issues. This is Professor Sidney McArdle, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. Have a pleasant afternoon.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests and not necessarily the opinions of the owners of Global Communications Network and the operators of this radio station.
This is 99.